So when I was making my video talking about the World War II briefcase that I have, the United States Marine Corps World War II briefcase that was made in 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, I mentioned that I also have a typewriter that I'm pretty sure is also from 1942, oddly enough, must have been a big year. And that's actually this guy right here. I just wanted to show that to you real quick. One of my favorite old-timey things that I own. This actually isn't one that I bought for myself. This was an odd Christmas present, an amazing Christmas present. I had been asked by my Aunt Denise, who is the only one of my mother's siblings who ended up never having children. She had asked one year, I can't remember if there was a specific reason, but she had asked all of the older kids, like all of the teenagers, what do you want for Christmas? And normally, you know, from our aunts and uncles, we didn't ask for a lot. They would buy us like one small little toy because we would have Christmas Eve at somebody's house and the whole family would gather. And so this year, for whatever reason, she asked what we all wanted. And I said, I don't want to ask for anything. That'd be weird to ask for something from Aunt Denise. And my mom said, no, she wants to know. She wants you to give her an item that she can go get for you. And I don't know if I was joking or what. I know I was on like a writing kick. I was really getting into like writing little short stories and stuff like that. And I was reading a lot of more like popular authors, not popular, but like classical authors at the time, like Hemingway and stuff. And I was like, I really want a typewriter, but not a modern typewriter, not anything that has any electronics in it, not like a Selectric 2, which is, I believe, what Hunter S. Thompson wrote with. It's a very popular, like, if you're going to write on a typewriter, that's a famous typewriter. A lot of like travel journalists and stuff used it. But I want an old typewriter, like something that has nothing but mechanical components made out of metal inside of it, something that's really sturdy. And I think I was like half joking, like I didn't expect her to go out and get one. And then on Christmas, lo and behold, we're actually at her house. The entire family's there for Christmas Eve, all my aunts and uncles and cousins and, you know, children of cousins, I forget what you call those, cousin once removed or second cousin, something like that. We're all there. And she hands me this really heavy like eBay box, and I open it up, and inside is a hard plastic case, or a hard case made out of something. And I pop that open, and what's inside is this typewriter. This is, if I recall, it's a 1942 Royale Quiet De Luxe typewriter. Now it's funny, it's called a Quiet De Luxe, but if I type on this thing, you'll hear exactly what they meant by quiet at the time. So it does have all of the lovely, like, when you get to the end, it chimes and everything when the carriage return actually occurs. But when you type on this thing, like, I don't know how well you can hear that from my lapel mic, my lav mic, but it's certainly not quiet. And if you're typing on a hard surface, like this is a nice padded felt top to my gaming table that I'm sitting at here, but this thing is actually quite loud if you type on a hard surface. But it does have, if I can go all the way to the end of the line, you'll hear it. Yeah. So it does have all of the real mechanisms inside of it. It's fully functional. When I first got it, it needed a new ribbon, and I think it was the A key would stick down if you tried to do a capital A. So if you held Shift and typed A, your key, your striker would get stuck in the up position. And I mean, you can see, I don't know if I can type with this open, but you can see inside here all of the full metal mechanisms. And if I show you the underside of it, I don't even know how anyone figured out how to make stuff like this. It's insane. Just pure clockwork. But when you type, I don't know if you can see this if I do it up here, so you can kind of see, when you type, the striker keys, I'll try to hit one at a time, the striker keys come up, and if you hit two at the same time, they jam like that. And what they're doing is they're slamming into an ink ribbon, and on the other side of that ink ribbon on this roller would be a sheet of paper, and so the striker, which has the different keys on it, slam into the ribbon, pressing through the ribbon the ink onto the paper, and that's how you type. And what's cool is like when you can see the different mechanisms and how they function, like when I press the Shift key, you see the entire, I don't know if you can actually see it, you see the entire mechanism right in there lower or raise. So it's literally moving the ribbon so that when the key comes up and strikes, it hits the lower half of the key, which has the capital letter on it, instead of the upper half of the key, which has the lowercase letter on it, or the striker, I should say. And so when I got this, the A key was jamming, and so I had to find somebody, and what is it? I forget, it has, oh yeah, it has touch sensitivity, how hard the spring mechanism is pulled so that it requires the difference in pressing down on the keys. If I slide this all the way up to 9 plus. I wonder what it's like to, oh yeah, that's a noticeable difference. But anyways, I brought this to a shop so that I could get the ribbon replaced and so that I could get that A key fixed because the A key was really sticky. And watching that guy repair this thing was insane. So I brought it to a shop in Cambridge, Mass. That was just called Cambridge Typewriter. So think like 15 minutes from Harvard Law School. And if you don't know Massachusetts. And I bring it in and I show it to the guy and he goes, oh yeah, that's really nice. That's in really great shape. He looks it over, he blows some air through it to get whatever dust is inside of it out. It was really well maintained or cleaned up before it was delivered to me. And he looks at the bottom and he goes, oh yeah, I see why the A key is sticking. And this guy, no joke, literally just takes a giant flathead screwdriver, lifts this thing up upside down like this, and just jams the flathead screwdriver inside, like yanks it around a bit, and then pops it out and lays it down. And he goes, yep, all set, not sticking anymore. So apparently there are still people who exist who can understand the inner workings of a machine like this so well that they can just like rough force it into functioning the way that it should. I don't know if he saw like a bent arm or something like that he bent back into shape, but it was really impressive to see somebody who knew a machine like this so well, you could just brute force it into working. And he did, and I've never had a problem with it since. I've written a bunch of short stories on it. I've just written up stuff in general because I wanted to. It's not that complicated to figure out all the different like mechanisms of how it works, how to release the page, how to line up the page properly. You got to get used to things like caps lock. When you press caps lock down, it locks the entire ribbon down into the lower position, therefore locking it into the cap striker position. And then when you press shift, or what's called shift freedom, freedom as in it frees the caps lock and allows it to come back up. There is no number 1 on the keyboard. It's 2 through 0. If you want to type a 1, that's just a lowercase l. So that's something else you have to get used to, because why make duplicate keys that make the same shape, essentially? But yeah, this is my 1942 Royale Quiet De Luxe typewriter that my Aunt Denise got for me very surprisingly one Christmas, simply because I asked for it. And I love it. And as I mentioned in my last video when I was talking, or one of my last videos when I was talking about my bag from the same year, it has a certain smell to the inside of it. And this, much like with the bag, when you open the top up, it kind of like flaps the air inside out at you, and you get that smell of 1942 leather, which is, I can't describe it. This does the exact same thing when you type on it. So if you just put this down on a desk in front of you, there's nothing unique about it other than it's a 1942 fully mechanical metal typewriter. But as soon as you start typing on it, the movement of the keys and the ribbons and the strikers inside start moving the air around, and I swear it smells like 1942. Like, I don't know how to describe it. If I could make my house smell like this everywhere, I would. And I've tried. That's why I buy so many antiques. Certain rooms in my house have more antiques than others, and because of that, they smell closer to this, and I really like it. But yeah, this is one of my most prized possessions, and very thankful and grateful for my aunt for having gotten it for me. And one day I will get back to using it again more commonly, but right now it's way up on a shelf where my kids can't get to it because my kids are 6, 3, and almost a year. And so any one of them could destroy this if they got their hands on it, or at least they would try. Though it is all metal, so who knows. But yeah, really love this typewriter. If you've never used an old typewriter like this, it's a real experience. They're not cheap to pick up if you want them in good condition, but I'm really happy that I have this one. I don't think I'd ever buy another one. Funny enough, if I did ever get another one, it would be probably a Selectric 2, an IBM Selectric 2, because that is a really cool typewriter. The striker on that is actually this sphere of letters and symbols that simultaneously rolls forward to strike against the ribbon and rotates and angles so that it hits the right symbol. It's really a unique mechanism that was designed for that machine. And we were cleaning out the attic at my church about 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago, and there was one sitting in the attic, just a fully functional looking IBM Selectric 2. But one of the guys that is, more senior at the church than I am, he grabbed it and took it home, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer, I would have loved to have that. And he brought it back the next day and he was like, I plugged it in, I messed around with it, it doesn't work, it's busted. That's probably why it was sitting in the attic. And I trusted him, so I just left it there to be thrown away, unfortunately. Those were very heavily produced though, so if you did want to get your hands on one of those, you probably could. I don't know how expensive they are, but that would be the only other typewriter I would ever want to own, mostly because of the Hunter S. Thompson angle and the uniqueness and the really like cutting edge design at the time of that striker mechanism. But this is definitely my all-time favorite typewriter. Anyways, just wanted to show this to you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.